Hey up folks, welcome to Sonofdel's live vlog on this Friday the 1st of May. It's been about 6-7 weeks since I did a last vlog. Not much has been happening with me, but I have got some good unboxings for you. I've got my second month of the Pedal Jungle mystery box, mystery t-shirt box. I've also got a very heavy horror box subscription. I don't know what's in that, but it's the heaviest one I've had. I've got 7 book reviews for you. And 10 TV reviews. My last word today is going to be moods today. So we'll start all that lot off with, what should we start with? Should we start with an unboxing? Yeah, we'll do the unboxing of the Pedal Jungle shirt for April 2026, number 2, box number 2. Right, as you remember, last month I had a new box, which was the Pedal Jungle mystery t-shirt, and I absolutely loved it because it was so unusual. It was the one with the collectible hieroglyphics. What the hell am I on about? The shiny cards. I can't remember the word for it, but there you go. Here we go. This is box 2. There's my little envelope. I'll leave that to one side for a minute. I'll open the paper on the shirt. Opens up there, look like that. Nice shirt. I'll just take the shirt out, see if there's anything underneath it this time. Nope, that's good. Good. Right, this is the shirt. This is the limited edition shirt. Let's see what design we've got on it. Right, we've got that on the front. Got that on the front, obviously. Good logo. I like the logo for a start. And this one I really do like, actually. It's my sort because I do like the horror genre. If I hold it like that, you'll be able to see it properly. I'll lift it up slightly. And at the bottom it says, "Death can wait." And it's basically a guy with a guitar who's obviously a skeleton, and he's just about to play a tune. That's me February t-shirt from Pedal Jungle. I love that. That's absolutely brilliant. The design on that is fantastic. I absolutely love that. So yeah, like I said, these t-shirts, $24.99, and you might think that's a bit much, but if you go into any of your big designer shops, $24.99 is nothing for a t-shirt these days. It really isn't. And of course, the second envelope. And inside we have a nice sticker. I don't know if you'll be able to see this. I'll try and make it so you can see it. Yeah, you can see that. Look at that. Holographic, that's the word I wanted. Holographic, not hieroglyphic. Idiot. Anyway, I've got my second card, and this guy is called Richie Pryor, the artist who's designed the second t-shirt. And my collectible card is, another one, a lovely one. Yeah. It's basically the collectible card version of the little one you've just seen. They're going to make a nice collectible set of cards, these are. And that's number 3, that one is. Woof. I've got number, what have I got here? Signal 84, Mojo 87, Rarity 83, and it's scored 238. It looks like they're going to be like a top trump set of cards, which I absolutely love. So, we've got the t-shirt, which is, again, Pedal Jungle. Whack myself in the face. Pedal Jungle. As you can see, the design's there. Brilliant design. Death can wait. I like that. Death can wait. Well, yeah, at the end of the day, that's what it does, doesn't it? It waits for you. And then when it's your time, it's your time. So that's the t-shirt. We have the artist's card. Again, it says on the back, look, Pedal Jungle mystery t-shirt. Yeah. We have the collectible sticker. Whoop, there you go, collectible sticker of the design, basically. And then we have the card with the design on, the collectible card. And I think that's quite impressive. I'll do that, you might be able to see it better. Way, nice and shiny, and look at the colours in that, wow. So that is box number 2 of the Pedal Jungle subscription service for t-shirts. Now they do sizes, I think it's XS, all the way up to I think it's 5XL or something like that. I have 2XL because I like a nice roomy t-shirt. But they're £24.99 and I'll put the link to Pedal Jungle underneath this vlog. Coming up next, I've got some book reviews. Right, there's no jigsaw gallery this month. I know that's going to shock you, but I haven't been doing jigsaws. I've been reading a lot because I've got hundreds of books to catch up on. And I've managed to catch up on 7 or 8 since I last spoke to you. Now, the first one is a biography. And I didn't really know that much about this person other than he was in one of my favourite comedies of the 80s. The comedy show was called The Young Ones. And it's not Rick Mayall, it's not Ade Edmondson, it's actually Nigel Planer. And it's called Young Once, and this doesn't really focus on a lot of the acting. It obviously mentions the Young Ones and Filthy Rich and Cat Flap and stuff like that. This mainly centres on his life and what his life's been like and his relationships that have gone wrong and all sorts of stuff, children and everything you can think of is in this book. Now, I would give this 8 out of 10. It's a really good read. It had me sort of like not wanting to put it down because it's an easy read as well. There's nothing that makes you, you know, question vocabulary or anything like that. It's just a down-to-earth biography. And it's Nigel Planer's, and it's called Young Once. And I would give that, yeah, 8 out of 10. That's an 8 out of 10 for me. Now, the second book is a Graham Masterton one. Now, I'm only giving this 6 out of 10, and the reason being, now Graham Masterton is one of my favourite authors. He's done some absolutely amazing books over time. He really has, everything from Erebus to, oh man, I'm trying to think of some of the ones I've read of Graham Masterton's, The Pariah, I think. Anyway, this one's called The Basilisk. Now, I liked the story. The storyline was really clever. Spoiler alert, if you want to read the book, don't listen to me, spoiler alert. It's coming up in 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I didn't like the ending. I thought the ending was too Hollywooded. I didn't think it was very realistic at all. That's just my interpretation. But when I read a horror book, I expect a lot more. And this didn't really feel like that. There was horror in it, but the ending was a bit too Hollywooded for me. It was a bit too wrapped up with a nice little bow, and I didn't like it, to be honest. That's why I've only given it, what did I say, 6 out of 10? Yeah, 6 out of 10. I can't give it any more than that, and that's unusual for a Graham Masterton book. I've upped it from 5, I've been generous. But yeah, the storyline's good, don't get me wrong, really good storyline, but it just didn't go the way you'd want it to for a horror book. It was too nicey nice. I can't be doing with horror books that end like that because it just doesn't seem realistic, you know. Now the next one, Scuttler's Cove. Now what I loved about this one is it's set in Cornwall for a start, and it basically deals with a village that's got a secret, if you like, and a woman who goes back to this village after living in London for like umpteen years. And it's all about what happens once she gets back there, the chain of events and how everything's all sort of linked. It's very well done, this one. I really enjoyed it, and it's not just because it was set in Cornwall, although that was a big selling point. The author grasps everything you want in a horror book. It's got just enough it's got so many twists and turns and little moments, you know, that make you sort of go, wow, I didn't see that coming. And it is really well written and well done. I absolutely love it, and I'd give this one 9 out of 10. And it's Scuttler's Cove, and it's by David Barnett. And this is one of those that was in my horror book subscription box, and I absolutely think it's one of the best I've read out of my horror box so far. So Scuttler's Cove by David Barnett, I would give 9 out of 10. Now this next one was a very unusual one because it dealt with a subject I'm not really an expert on, pregnancy. It dealt with pregnancy and everything that goes with it, from miscarriages to morning cramps, everything. You could literally, if you had a woman who was thinking of getting pregnant and she read this book, she never would. Let's put it that way. It is quite visceral in places. Now, it's a really good story, don't get me wrong. The story is absolutely brilliant, and there's, like I said, there's so many twists and turns in this one as well, believe it or not. But I like the tagline, "You'll be the death of me." Now, what it basically is about a woman who gets pregnant, and it's basically all the events that happen after that. Now, it is a horror book. It is a horror book, and there are lots of gruesome, sort of gory sort of descriptions and stuff in there, which was great because it was a horror book, and it's by Danielle Valentine, and it's Delicate Condition, and I'd give that one 8 out of 10. But it's a really good read, don't get me wrong, nice thick book, really good thick book, and it was one that was very difficult to put down, that one was, but I managed to. But yeah, so Delicate Condition by Danielle Valentine, and that's 8 out of 10, and that's another one out of my horror box. This one I actually read in a day, one day, just over 24 hours it took me. Now, it's called Red River 7, and it's by an author called A.J. Ryan, who I've never heard of. Now, what I love about this is I like Resident Evil films. I love anything like that, you know, weird viruses and stuff like that, and this is quite like that. It's a cross between, it says at the top actually, it's a good description, Apocalypse Now meets Resident Evil. It's called Red River 7. And what it basically is, the start of the story is basically people who wake up on a boat, no idea who they are, why they're on the boat, but they can't control the boat's going on its own, there's nothing they can do, they've got to follow where this boat's going. And there's 7 of them to start with, but they've got to try and figure out who they are, why they're on the boat, where they're going. But the thing about this, if they do remember, and they do get the memories back, that spells disaster. They're not allowed to have memories. If they have memories, it makes this virus, what's in the air, which is what the thing is about, spread fast. And it turns you from a normal person to an absolute raving psychopath within the space of about 5 minutes. Once you start remembering, that's when it takes hold of your brain. Now, it's called Red River 7, and like I said, I read it in a day. And that's another 8 out of 10 for me, A.J. Ryan. I was a bit, you know, sceptical because I thought, what a weird thing, Apocalypse Now meets Resident Evil. That's a strange concoction when you put it together, but it works, it really does work. And what I love about it is it's got a realistic ending. It's got a realistic ending. It's not all wrapped up in a bow like the Basilisk and you know, Hollywooded out. This is realistic. Now, the good thing about it is a lot of it is set in London, believe it or not, but not the London we know. Trust me, not the London we know. This is London after an outbreak of something. And when I was reading it, I got to thinking about COVID, actually, and how easily that kind of virus can get in the air and can get in people and turn them into different things. But imagine if instead of giving you a cough or a dry throat or all that sort of stuff, instead of giving you that, it actually turned you into something like rabid creature. And that's basically what this deals with, and it's called Red River 7. And I'd give it 8 out of 10 for A.J. Ryan. I'm going to try and find some more of his books as well, because his or hers, sorry, I don't know whether it's him or her, but them, they might identify as a they. But I'm going to see if I can find some more books by A.J. Ryan, because if this one is anything to go by, his others are going to be good. So, yeah, 8 out of 10, Red River 7. Now this one, My Throat an Open Grave, I kind of figured this out halfway through. I really did, honestly. It was that kind of obvious, but not obvious unless you've read lots of horror books. Now, I figured out what was going on. Now, it's called My Throat an Open Grave, which is a strange title, and it's by Tori Bovolino, who I've never heard of. Now, this one, I'll give 6 out of 10. And the premise is a village, and there's a river. And the other side of the river is a forest, a big, massive, thick forest. And apparently, every so often, something from the forest demands something to be sacrificed. If you say you were sitting in a room and you said, oh my God, I wish that the King of the Wood or the Lord of the Wood would take away such and such a person because they're doing me head in. Once you offer it, if the Lord of the Wood wants to take it, he will. He'll come in the night and take it away. Now, the premise is about a girl who basically goes into this wood because she wishes that her baby brother gets taken away, and he does get taken away. The book is about her mission to go into the wood and try and find her baby and confront this Lord of the Wood that's supposed to be this ferocious creature, demonic and God knows what. It's got some twists and turns, but you can see them. You can see them coming. And I definitely figured it out about halfway through. Now, I'll give it 6 out of 10. I'll give it 6 out of 10 because the story's good. The story's good and it's clever, but if you've read lots and lots of horror books and watched lots and lots of horror films, you'll see the ending coming. You really will. So, My Throat, An Open Grave by Tori Bobolino, and I would give that 6 out of 10. Now, I've only finished this one today, and it's called Smother Moss by Elisa Allering. And the book cover is absolutely fantastic. You know, you've got a black rabbit there, and then you've got a skeleton of a rabbit at the bottom. Now, the story centres around 2 girls called Sheila and Angie. One's 17, the other's 12. Now, the 12-year-old's got her head in the clouds about Russian invasions. She wants to sort of be a soldier, and she wants to defeat the Russians before they take over America, etc., etc. Now, this is set in the 80s, 1980s. Now, the premise is that the little girl, the 12-year-old, sorry, she carries these cards which she designs herself. She's always drawing weird-arse monsters. And she seems to have a power that something in these cards is meant to happen. The card will get passed to somebody. Now, the other girl, Sheila, she's 17, and she's fighting with her own demons inside, which are basically the fact that she's gay, and she doesn't know how to sort of tell people that. Now, they're very poor. They really are a poor family. There's the mother, there's the 2 girls, and there's the nan. And the nan is literally about 95 or something. I can't figure that one out. But the girl who's 17 has got an invisible rope around her neck, which keeps getting bigger and heavier, she seems to think, as she gets older. Now, if you knock into the story of this, somebody going around the mountains murdering people, and a boy that only appears to the 17-year-old when she's in the grounds of an asylum. And you've got a really, really strange arse book, because I couldn't figure really what it was supposed to be about. It is very convoluted, and it will leave you grasping at straws, it really will. I'm giving it 5 out of 10, because the story weren't too bad, but I still couldn't figure out exactly what the storyteller was trying to tell us. It was very, very jumbled and very mixed up and messed up, to be honest with you. And I can't give it more than 5 out of 10 because I only finished it about an hour and a half ago, and I'm still trying to figure out exactly what the book was about. I won't give any spoilers as to what happens, but those things I've just mentioned are the centre of the book, what it's about. But if you can figure it out and you know what the author was trying to get across, please leave a note underneath. If you've read this book and you know what, then let me know, because it seemed like 7 or 8 different stories all jumbled into one, but none of them really had much of an ending, if you like. It didn't really do anything. I didn't think the ending was the ending, if you like. It could have led on to another book, because nothing seems to be finalised in it, so it's confusing. But it's called Smother Moss, and it's by Elisa Allering, or whatever, however you pronounce it, and I would give it 5 out of 10, and that is my last book review. So in the space of a couple of months, almost, I have read 7 books, which is quite good, because I've set myself 25 for the year, and I've already read, I think it's 12 now, and we're only on May, so May the 1st, so. Coming up next, what I've done since my last vlog. Since my last vlog, not really done a lot. The weather's been improving slightly, but unfortunately, before today, it's been very, very windy. So I have sat outside and read, but I haven't been able to enjoy the sun as much because it's been literally windy nearly every single day. Today's the first day it isn't windy, and I was going to do my vlog outside, but now it looks like it's going to rain. The sky's got like a grey sort of white colour, so I didn't want to risk it with the camera, you know, outside, so I'm doing my vlog inside. Now, the one thing I have done is my brother-in-law Andy asked me about a couple of weeks ago if I wanted to go out on a trip with him, because he was going to Lincolnshire to drop off an item for somebody, and he wanted to know if I fancied a road trip, so I went with him. And we had a fantastic day, we really did. A couple of coffees, a bit of a sandwich out, a good rattle, because me and Andy get on great. You know, we do get on like proper brother-in-laws. We don't like socialise, don't get me wrong, you know, it's not like me and him go pub for a pint or nothing like that, but we're good with each other, you know, we're good, well, friendly with each other. And I think he enjoyed it as well, he really did, because we were able to talk and discuss all sorts of things about life and the universe and everything. But we also had a nice drive out, the weather was nice, it only rained for about 5 minutes, if that. And it was over in Lincolnshire, which is obviously not far from where Deb's mum lives. And we tried to surprise her actually and go and see her, but every time I tried a number or a mobile number, she wasn't in, so we didn't risk it because it was still like 35-minute drive away. And the cost of fuel at the moment, it's a bit, yeah, what can you say? So yeah, that was a nice day out. I really enjoyed that. And it was something different, you know, because obviously I don't get out much, I don't get out a lot, I haven't got my own transport, and I'm not very good on public transport at all. I won't use public transport, buses or anything like that, because I don't know, I don't feel safe on them. I know that sounds weird, but I have panic attacks and I suffer with anxiety. So if I'm going on a bus and then there's people on there and it gets crowded or whatever, I don't know what I'm going to end up doing. So yeah, I don't go on public transport. I sometimes walk into the village, don't get me wrong, I have a nice walk into the village because it's only like 10-minute walk from where I am, and that's not too bad. But other than that, I spend the day outside reading when the weather's nice, or inside reading. So I do lots and lots of surveys, and I've done tons of surveys, to be honest with you. But I've also, like I said, been doing lots of reading and watching TV shows, which you're going to find out in a bit, because I've watched 9 TV shows or 10 since I last spoke to you. That's how much I do in the evening. From about 5 o'clock onwards, I do my tea, which usually consists of something with a salad, and then I will sit down and watch TV from sort of 5:30 till about 9:30. But I always make sure I switch off about 9:30 so I can listen to music for an hour before I go sleep, because I find listening to my music for an hour before I go sleep does me the world of good. When I don't listen to music, I don't sleep so good. I don't know whether it's something to do with, because I don't listen to, like, you know, it's not like I listen to Tchaikovsky or something relaxing before I go to sleep. Sometimes it can be Meatloaf, Within Temptation, Depeche Mode, it can be trance music, it can be Jean-Michel Jarre, Vangelis, it can be anything. You know, I've got such an eclectic taste in music, it's mad. And I collect vinyl as well, so what I tend to do is get the vinyl, transfer it onto an MP3 player, and then I sort of listen to my vinyl whenever I want then. Yeah, so since my last vlog, I've also found out now I had to go for an eye scan and a diabetic eye scan. Now the good news is the diabetic eye scan has come back completely clear. I'm okay for another year. The eye scan I had to go for was to do with the fact that the optician had noticed one of the veins in my eyes was too big or something, but I went down to the eye health place, again taken by Andy. He took me down there and they did the scan. And then they called me back 3 weeks later and I went for the results, and the results were completely clear as well, so they haven't got to see me for 6 months. So touch wood, most of the health stuff I've got is under control. My diabetes is under control, now I'm on metformin. My blood pressure seems to have sorted itself since I've been on the blood pressure medication. My BP's come right down, because it was in the 180 over something, but now it's gone down to sort of 125, 130 over something, which is a lot better. One of the other things I've done recently, which I haven't done for a long time, is a little bit of PC gaming. Now I've got about 4 different accounts on different people like Epic, Ubisoft, EA Games, and there's another one as well, but I can't remember it. And basically I collect free games. Because they're always on the internet, somebody's always getting rid of a free game somewhere. So I'll go onto one of these sites, get a free game, get it, put it in my library, and I found out now I've got nearly 1,000 games. So I thought I'd play one the other day, and it's called Dead Island 2. And it's basically a run around killing zombies in different ways. You can electrocute them, you can set them on fire, you can use machetes on them, pitchforks, you can do anything with them. And the good thing about me, you might call me a cheat, I don't care, is I put a God mode on so I can't die, and that means then I can explore the game, enjoy it without any anxiety, without any panic attacks, because I know I'm going to be able to just enjoy it and find all the secrets, and I enjoy doing that. Yes, I know, like I said, a lot of people call me cheap, but there's actually a site I'm on called Cheat Happens, and I'm a gold member of that. Now, if we weren't meant to cheat, why would sites like that exist, you know? But I just do it because, like I said, I haven't got the dexterity to be able to move my hands quick enough to stop zombies chomping on me, so I'd be dead every 5 minutes. And that would spoil the game. So what I tend to do is I tend to put a God mode on and play around then. I can just do what I want, walk around, killing things, finding secrets and all sorts. And I thoroughly enjoy it. I've never got fed up of having a God mode on. I finished that one, well, as much as I wanted to do, which was all the missions, what we're supposed to have done, and then there was some side missions which I didn't bother with. That lasted me about a week and a half. And I've just started on an old favourite of mine called Dragon Age Inquisition. Now, I played the Dragon Age games, and they are fantastic, but I've never played Inquisition, even though it's a few years old now. But I've sort of loaded that up, and I've started playing that, and I'm only right at the beginning at the moment. But yeah, it's something different when the days are dull, or I just want something to just lose myself in for a couple of hours. I'll just put a game on. And because I haven't got used joypad, I've only got to literally put my hand on a mouse and move, you know, QASD or whatever. So I don't have to worry about all this faffing about with fingers and buttons and stuff. So yeah, that's literally been all I've done since my last vlog. I've done a few poems. I've had a bit of a mental health issue because of stupid decisions and stupid things I've done, which I regret now, but hey-ho, we live and learn, as we say. I've joined a fair few friends' sites online. A lot of them are scammers, you can tell a mile off. But there are some genuine people on there, and I do have a good laugh with them, you know. We'll say good morning to each other and make sarcastic comments and stuff, and it's good because that's closest I get to friends, really. I've been, like I said, I've been sitting out on decking at back, and I've had Sky come round from next door and want fussies, and Tony and Shell have been out, and we've had a rattle and had a coffee or whatever. So yeah, you know, I'm still keeping busy, but it's coming up to that time now where I will be sitting outside a lot. I will be spending a lot of time sitting on my decking. I've just bought the decking paint, so that's going to be done by my next door neighbours. They're doing that for me, and then all I've got to do is get the fence paint, and I can carry on with that. But yeah, that's it for my that's it for my what I've done since my last vlog. Coming up next, I've got some no, I'll do an unboxing. I'll do my unboxing of my horror box subscription. I've done it again, horror book subscription box. So here we go, one horror book subscription box, and it weighs a ton. I will tell you now, this is a heavy box. So let's see what's in it. I've opened the seal. Oh, gold. Bloody hell. Sorry, pardon the French. I found out why. That's the second-hand book. I've got to find my scissors now because that is a beast. The second-hand book was right at the top, so I'm gonna have a look at that one first, find out what the heck they've sent me. Feels like bloody War and Peace. It weighs a ton. Oh dear. Right, let's find out, shall we? It could be a Stephen King book actually, because he's done some bloody massive ones, hasn't he? Probably something like Dumarquis or something like that. No, I think it's Lacey's Tale. I could be wrong, but I think this is Stephen King's Lacey's Story, yeah. God blimey, look at the size of that sod. God, how many pages is that? That's got to be a beast of a page, hasn't it, surely? 562 pages that is, and that's the second-hand book. Brilliant condition. Stephen King, Lacey's Story. Think I've read it, but if I haven't, it's definitely going to my collection. I can't get rid of that. Look at it, it's in perfect nick. There's hardly anything wrong with it whatsoever. A little bit of scuff, but what do you expect? But yeah. And that, when it came out, would have been, how much would that have been then? £18 when it came out. Anyway, that's the second-hand book that's in my box, and it's Lacey's Story by Stephen King. A beast of a book, that one. Right. Next. Oh, we have a bit of a novella, this one, I think. Elegant, voracious, a book that eats up every scrap of your attention. It's by, I can't even pronounce this, I'll try, Hache Pueo, and it's called Cabaret in Flames. I like the cover. I like the cover. It's only a novella by the look of it. It's only quite thin. But it's called Cabaret in Flames, and it's by, I can't even, is that Hache Pueo? Should we go for that? Hache Pueo? Hache Pueo, right. So that's Cabaret in Flames. Got another book, you know. Another brand new book. Hardback. Oh, nice. Oh dear. Danielle Valentine. Why do I know that name? Just bear me 1 second. Yeah, I said it. I just reviewed one of her books and I've got another one. This one, it's just a deliciously dark tale and a mouth-watering mystery, and it's called The Dead Husband Cookbook, a recipe for murder. Sorry, it just tickled me, that, the name of it. One husband well done, it says. That sounds a bit rough, doesn't it? Knives Out meets the 7 husbands of evil in Hugo with a pinch of Nora Ephron's heartburn. I devoured every page. So that is my 3rd book, and that's why it weighed a bloody ton, obviously, because then 2 hardbacks. Danielle Valentine, The Dead Husband's Cookbook. Such a cracking title. Let's see what else I've got. Signed Cabaret in Flames by Hache Pueo. I'm hoping I'm getting that name right. It's got to be close. My usual goodies. Let me just open the bag. Oh no, I've got something different in it this time. Ooh! Glad I opened the bag. A Milky Way hot chocolate. Never had one of them in it before. I've got another Kenko salted caramel latte. These are not too bad. These I'm saving up for my sister because she likes strong tea and I'm not a great lover of strong tea, so I'm saving these for my sister. I've got about 12 of them now. Yorkshire tea. I always find it a little bit too strong for me, that. My sister's going to love that, Mandy. She absolutely loves tea that's like gravy. A green lemon, not for me I'm afraid. That's a Tetley Fusions, whatever it's called. And I'm getting into these actually. I didn't think I would, but I am. They are coffee bags, and this one is by Ueshima Coffee Company, and this is a house blend coffee bag. So them's me drinks. Okay, I've got a flavoured meringue bar by Flower and White fondant cream, and the good thing is it's only 91 calories, so that's going to be good for part of my diet. Well, not on a diet, on my food regime, I'll call it. And that is basically, what does it say? Pause, relax, put a smile on your face, you're about to find your happy place. Oh, very cool. Poet and didn't know it. Yeah, so that is called a fondant cream, and it's by Flower and White. I've never heard of them. Never heard of that company. Flower and White. That's me sweet treat. Got some bits and bobs in the bottom. Oh, I like that. Another fridge magnet. Stephen King's Night Shift. It's a fridge magnet, as you can see from the back. It just literally straight in your fridge. Job done. And that will be going on my fridge soon. Stephen King, Night Shift. Oh, another one. Blimey, I'm spoiled. Stephen King, The Shining. The Overlook Hotel, is it? I think it's the Overlook. Yeah. Anyway, that's Stephen King's The Shining. That's another fridge magnet. Can't go wrong with fridge magnets, mate. In the bottom of here, we have the last 3 items. Unputdownable. Raccoon City Dogs Trust. Giving man's best friend a new lease of life. I've just mentioned Resident Evil and all. That dog don't look very friendly, does it? I wouldn't want that as a pet. But then on the back, you've got the Raccoon City. So that's the bookmark 1. Bookmark 2, you know what it is. It's the Abominable Book Club. with the QR code at there, so you can actually scan that and it will tell you all about the full guts box, which is what I have. And then on the back there's usually a little story. A story on the back of that. That's the, what's it called? This is by, again, Hashe Puello, and basically it's another one of those written ones where basically he's thanking you for buying the book, telling you a bit about him and about the story. So that is a very, very, very enjoyable box this time. So what we've got is, let's get it worked out. First item, Danielle Valentine, The Dead Husband Cookbook, hardback. That's one. So yeah, the second book is obviously Cabaret in Flames by Hashe Puello. Letter. Again, Hashe Puello. The hard, oh no, sorry, a signature card, Hashe Puello. Getting a bit of a theme here. Second hand slab is Stephen King's Lyce's story. We got me bag of drinkies, me fondant cream flour and white bar, and a couple of bookmarks, cha-ching, and two fridge magnets, both for Stephen King books. The first one for The Shining, and the other one for Night Shift. Night Shift? Yeah, Night Shift. And that is my horror book subscription box. I'll get all right, aren't I? Horror book subscription box for April 2026. Right, now, as I told you before, I've been watching a lot of TV, and this is in no particular order, to be honest with you. When I last spoke to you, the last one I watched was called Cold Water. Now we'll start with Chasing Shadows. Now this had a brilliant premise. There's a guy who's basically a detective, but he gets moved to the Missing Persons Bureau because nobody wants to work with him, because this guy is literally anally retentive. He's one of these people who literally goes off on his own. He doesn't need any help, he doesn't ask for help. He's quite, I don't know whether it's autism or what, but he's got something. Now the series was really, really good. The only thing is, they only ever did one season of it and then they stopped it, which I was gutted about. So it only gets 6 out of 10, and it was called Chasing Shadows. And basically what it was basically they had to find missing persons and find out if they were the victims of serial killers. And it was a really good premise, fantastic acting, really good acting. Reece Shearsmith, brilliant in it, and her out of Doctor Who. No, I've forgotten the name again. I did this the other day. She plays River Song she plays. Anyway, then there was Collision. Collision, 8 out of 10 this one got. Now the thing is about Collision is it was one of these where at the start, there's a massive road accident, right? Massive road accident. A couple of people end up dead, and there's literally about 8 cars involved. What this is about all the stories that join it together. Now, what was strange about when I was watching this is I felt like I'd watched it before. I know I hadn't, but I felt like I watched it before. I seemed to know where the story was going and who was going where and what was happening. And it's still bugging me to this day why I thought I knew about it, even though I'd never seen it before. It's got Douglas Henschel in it. He's the main cop in it, and he basically has to find out exactly why this accident happened, who was involved, what caused it, blah blah blah. And it's about 5 or 6 episodes, and it's really clever because it's got all the different side stories leading up to it, all the different people who were involved in the crash. So yeah, I would give that one, Collision, 8 out of 10. Now the next one is Grace, starring the fantastic John Sim, and it is brilliant. It really is. I'll give this 9 out of 10 all the way. My sister's even into watching this one. She loves it. And the problem is, at the moment now, we've just finished season 6 and it's left it on a cliffhanger, so I'm like, Brr. But yeah, it's got, like I say, it's got John Sim, and he plays DCI Grace, or DI Grace, DCI, yeah, DCI Grace, or whatever it is. And basically he has to investigate all these different murders. Each season is a different murder, but there's also a backstory going on to do with him and his wife who walked out on him years before. And that story is all the way through at the back, all the way through. It's important, all the way through that. Grace, 9 out of 10. Then I started watching one that's been on my radar for a long time, and I've had people have told me good things about it. It was called Happy Valley, with Sarah Lancashire in. And there was 3 seasons of it, and this was absolutely excellent, 9 out of 10 all the way. She plays a Lancashire copper, who basically her daughter commits suicide years before. And somebody's going around killing people. And yeah, all 3 seasons are linked. All 3 seasons are linked, that's all I'll say. But the murders are quite rough in places, but she is so down to earth and she plays the character brilliant. Now, I know there's only going to be 3 seasons of this because it ends how it should end, basically. So, Happy Valley, Sarah Lancashire, 9 out of 10. D.I. Ray. Now, I didn't mind this one, but I thought it kept going on a bit too much about race and colour. And stuff like that. I think they tried a bit too hard on that thing. Now, D.I. Ray, she is basically an Asian police officer. And all the way through there are like undercurrents of racism in the force and not wanting her to succeed and all this. But I think they played on that a bit too much. Now, the murders were all, don't get me wrong, the murders were good and the series was quite good. There was 2 seasons of it and I gave this one 6 out of 10. But only because I just thought they just went too a bit much on the race thing. I think they went a bit too far on that. River, 5 out of 10. Now, Stellan Skarsgård's in it, but the person who carries this all the way through is Nicola Walker, who to me is one of the most underrated actresses on the planet. She really is. She is absolutely fantastic in this series. Now, the premise is weird because you've got a copper, Stellan Skarsgård, whose partner gets killed. Now, you don't see this happen at the start, but she kind of appears to him as a ghost. But she isn't the only ghost he sees. He sees others, different ghosts of different people and stuff. And the story is a bit convoluted and a bit... yeah, you're not quite with it all the way to the end. But if it wasn't for Nicola Walker, I don't think I'd give this any more than 2 out of 10. But she carries this. She really does carry this. Her character is brilliant in it. And I gave it 5 out of 10. Now, the next series, bear in mind, the only thing I'd ever seen with Nicola Walker in was Spooks. And then she appeared in River. And then I started watching a series called Unforgotten. And I didn't know, until the cast actually started, that she was the main star of that for the first 4 seasons. And it's brilliant. Unforgotten is basically where they find bodies or bones that are not current. So it's not like somebody's killed somebody in the street now. They might have killed them 20 years ago and they've just found the body. So it's all about finding out why the person's been killed, who killed them, how, when, where, and it's very, very good. She's got a good team behind her, but Nicola Walker carries it for the first few seasons. Then she went out of it, as arranged with the writer of the series. They'd already arranged this between them, that she was going to go out of it, and a new woman's taken over. Now, I've just found out they're doing season 7, which is fantastic news for me, because I absolutely love the show. And Unforgotten, like I say, I've given it 9 out of 10. Now, there's also an Asian guy in it. I think he's called Sangaskar something or other. I can't remember his name, but he is in it all the way through. And his character's brilliant as well, and he's got his own backstory. So, as well as the backstories, you've also got the murders as well. And sometimes they overlap. And that's what I love about it. And it's called Unforgotten. And it's 9 out of 10 for that one. Now, I've just watched one called Ridley. I finished it last night, actually. And it stars, I think his name's Adrian Dunbar. And I've given this one 6 out of 10. Now, the reason I've given it 6 out of 10 is there's 2 seasons of it. And again, it's finding out murders, blah, 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 kidnappings, all sorts of stuff. The reason I only gave it 6 out of 10 is because for some strange reason, at the end of every episode, the Adrian Dunbar character always sings. He's always singing at the end of every episode, and that's about the last 5 minutes of every episode. And I just think it's wasted, I really do. I think whoever decided to write this series, fair enough, great. But why? And it's jazz as well. It's usually some jazz song or some like blues song. And I just think it really takes away from the fact that this is supposed to be a cop series, a detective series. Now, he owns this club along with Julie Graham, and basically this is where he sings in this like sort of dive for jazz fans and stuff like that. But the actual murders and the storylines are really good. I'll give it, like I say, 6 out of 10. But I just couldn't get along with the fact that they were always singing. At the end of every episode there's somebody singing, and sometimes in the middle of the episode there's somebody singing. And if I wanted people singing, I'd watch a singing contest or a singing show. I wouldn't watch a detective series. I actually said this to my sister this morning, how boring A Touch of Frost would be if every episode David Jason ended up singing a country and western song at the end of it, you know. It would have just taken away from the fact that this is supposed to be a dark, gritty cop series, and that's what Ridley is. Now, there's been 2 seasons, and I don't know if they're doing a season 3, I've not checked. But if they do, then fair enough. So, these are the marks. Unforgotten, 9 out of 10, all the way, brilliant. Chasing Shadows, 6 out of 10, because they only did 1 season, and I'm gutted about that. Collision, 8 out of 10, good story, good way they all blended together, all the different crashes, yeah, very good. Grace, one of my best this year, 9 out of 10, definitely, really good. John Simmons, fantastic in it. Happy Valley, Sarah Lancashire excels in this programme, 9 out of 10, brilliant all the way. D.I. Ray, 6 out of 10, good series, but it just went too far on the race thing for me. It just kept highlighting it too much. River, bizarre, 5 out of 10. Thank you, Nicola Walker, for saving it. And Ridley, 6 out of 10, just because the singing at the end of every episode, and I think it spoils it. And that is my TV reviews for this vlog. Coming up next, well, coming up last, we have The Last Word, Moods. Now, when I say moods for my last word, I don't mean like going in a mood and having a party and you know, doing all that sort of stuff, or sulking. I'm on about the moods that you're in on a daily basis. You can be sort of happy, then look outside, see it's chucking it down, and it sort of dampens your mood. Dampens, very good, chucking it down. No, I didn't mean that as a joke. But it does, it makes you feel a bit low sometimes. I don't know whether it's just me, it could be. And I think, depending on what mood I'm in, depends on what I do in the day. If I'm feeling quite upbeat and with it, I might decide to do a jigsaw or do a bit of gaming. If I'm feeling a bit reflective, I might read. If it's a lovely day and I want to sort of brighten my mood, I will go for a little walk into the village and then come back. And the one thing that moods definitely, I mean, is music. For me, it's music, because if I'm in a low mood, then I might listen to something that's got a lot of meaning with the words, a lot of things I can relate to in the music. If I'm feeling quite happy and upbeat, I might listen to trance music. I might put a bit of trance on, you know, a bit of something like that, something to, a bit of dancey. If I'm feeling nostalgic, I've got my Pet Shop Boys, my Erasure, Depeche Mode. If I want to listen to just something that's just music, I might listen to Jar or Vangelis, or even Mike Oldfield. Some of his stuff is absolutely brilliant that I listen to. One of my go-tos, in fact 2 of my go-tos, are a group called Exchange. Not Exchange. Yeah, Exchange. What am I about Exchange? Yeah, who are brilliant. They're absolutely brilliant. And also the Alan Parsons Project. Now, they've been going for a fair few years, and they've done such albums as Pyramid, Ammonia Avenue, Tales of Mystery and Imagination, Edgar Allan Poe. They've done some brilliant stuff, they really have. Gaudi, that was another great one. And I've got quite a lot of their stuff, and it's amazing how they're still going, and they're still doing concerts, mainly like South America and stuff like that. They're really popular over there, really popular. Mexico and all that, you know, they love all that kind of stuff, and they are really, really good. If you ever get a chance and you want to listen to something that's just easy to listen to the Alan Parsons Project. And the live stuff's fantastic as well. I've got a couple of their live shows, one in Colombia and another one, I can't remember where it was though, but yeah. So yeah, moods. Excuse me a minute. Don't often do this, but I'm going to today because last time I ended with a sore throat. There you go. Right, so yeah, moods. Now, when I'm doing a jigsaw, sometimes I will put my vinyl on at the same time. Not always, but sometimes I'll put my vinyl on and listen to some Bowie. You know, I'll put some Bowie on. I've got a couple of live concerts of his, a brilliant 3-disc version, which I've played before. Brilliant, that is. I've got his later stuff like Black Star, Next Day, you know, and they are really, really good because I've followed David Bowie for like the last like 50 years or whatever. But I will be honest, I didn't start listening to him properly until the early 90s. And then I had to do a rush of his back catalogue to get up to speed, if you like. And I listened to stuff like Ziggy Stardust, Aladdin Sane, all that stuff, you know. And it's amazing how his music, basically, he was like a pioneer. He seemed to know where music was going to go before it went. So, say in the 70s, when he was doing his Ziggy, all of a sudden he realised that that was going to fade out, and he then became another persona. He became Aladdin Sane, he's become Ziggy Stardust, he become the Thin White Duke. You know, he had all these different personas, but there was essentially him, but his music adapted before anybody else. It was as if he knew it was going to happen. How he did, I still to this day don't know, but he did. And he managed to stay current with everything he did. He was never left behind. Nobody ever said, oh, you know, David Bowie's dated years. Because he was always producing music that was current. You know, I mean, one of the first songs I heard, obviously because I was only young, was Let's Dance. You know, and then I heard China Girl. And then he did, like, the one with Mick Jagger, you know, what's it called? Dancing in the Street. I knew I'd get it in the end. Dancing in the Street. And I got into his music then, and then all of a sudden I started listening to his CDs, and I thought, hang on, this guy's really, really good. So I sort of backpedaled, and I've heard some of his very, very early stuff from the late 60s, where literally he just sounds like a solo singer singing with a couple of instruments in the background. Like, he sounds very young, very childy. Yeah, and like I said, I listen to his music quite a lot. It's on my MP3 player. Sometimes I'll get a few of his tunes on before I go to sleep. But I've got nearly 1,000, in fact I've got more than 1,000, I've got about 8,000 tunes on my MP3 player, and basically I just put them on random. So I could be listening to Utah Saints 1 minute, I could be listening to U96, then Depeche Mode, then Michelle Jarre, then Within Temptation, then the Cranberries. So I've got a real, you know, massive thing, and music is definitely good for the moods. Reading, it depends really. If I'm in the mood and I'm sort of want something involving, I might read a detective novel, something that'll make me think a bit and have me on the edge, you know, or a horror book. Whereas if I want to learn something, I'll pick up a biography and learn about a person's life and about how they lived and their relationships and the programs or the sports they've done or whatever. So yeah, moods I think is very, very important, and I also found it very important when I can't say when because I'm still going through it even 27 months later coming up. I'm still going through the grieving process. I still grieve for Deb every single day. I still miss her every single day, and some of my moods reflect that. If you've read some of my later poetry, some of the poetry from the last month, 6-8 weeks, and you go onto my Facebook page, which the link's underneath, and you click on it and you read my Facebook page, you will see that some of my poems are really dark. Some of them are really edge of the seat stuff. Now the problem I've got with writing poetry is sometimes I'll have a situation in my life, and just because I've written a poem, people assume that it's about them or about that situation. And if it is about that, I will tell them. But if it isn't, I hate being accused of writing something about somebody when it isn't about them. And I say to myself, well, if they think it's about them, they must see something in that poem that makes them think, hang on, that he's writing about me. So it isn't my fault if their interpretation is my poetry. My poetry is how I feel a lot of the time. But because I'm a member of a poetry group, sometimes they'll say, write a poem on heartbreak, write a poem on regret, write a poem on summer or whatever, and I will write a poem that day for that particular subject and post it on my wall as well as in the poetry groups. And people have got to realise that when you're a poet, anything can inspire you to write poetry. I mean, I once wrote a poem about somebody living with dementia, but I've never had dementia in my life, and I've never lived with anybody with dementia. But I was able to get inside that feeling, and people actually commented and said, I'm really sorry you're going through this, and blah, 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 and I had to post, I'm not going through this. This is just a poem, what I've written. But it must have been that heartfelt and that realistic that people thought I was writing about my own situation. A lot of my poems I keep to myself. I've written a lot of dark poetry which I keep on my phone, and that doesn't get published. I write a lot of stuff on my phone about my life and about how I feel about people and things and situations, but I don't publish it. I keep it to myself, and every so often I'll go back and read it. Sometimes I might delete it and think, yeah, I'm not like that no more. Other times it's a reminder of how either people have made me feel, or I've made myself feel, things I've done wrong or I've done right for doing wrong, whatever. But they help me. And rereading some of my life, which I'm definitely going to be writing about, I'm definitely going to be writing about my life, because the amount of stuff that's happened in it, and I mean, I'm only 53, but the amount of stuff that I could write about is phenomenal, you know. And I've had everything from physical abuse, mental abuse, I've had bullying at school, I've had theft, I've had shoplifting charges against me, I've even been accused of indecent stuff with a minor. I've all sorts of stuff I've been accused of, but there's never been any fact behind any of it. It's just, and the trouble is, once somebody accuses you of something, it doesn't matter if that's complete bullshit, because it sticks. And there will be people who don't like you anyway, who will start looking at you going, oh yeah, I can believe that about him, definitely, oh yeah, 100%, yeah. So you will always get people who make up their own mind. And as long as you know that you're innocent, and as long as you know you've done nothing wrong, I don't even bother. Because as long as I know I've got nothing to hide, no secrets, no darkness, no nothing like that, I can hold my head up and say, yeah, I live my life how I live my life, mate, simple as. You know, I don't break the law if I can help it. I'm not druggy. I don't drink a lot. I don't gamble. I don't do anything that's deemed bad. I just live my life as best I can under the circumstances. And again, moods, see, all different moods. The mood of the population at the moment isn't very good, is it? Not with what's going on in Iran and fuel costs and food prices, and oh dear, what an absolute shambles of a country. Well, you remember me telling you right at the start of this vlog that I came in because I thought it was going to rain. It's raining. My windows are absolutely covered, so I made the right decision not to film outside. Anyway, I have finished my vlog for this 1st of May. I still can't believe it's May Day, May the 1st. 3 days time, it's Star Wars Day, isn't it? If anybody doesn't know, may the 4th be with you, yeah. I haven't really had much communication with friends lately. I did speak to my mate Ian a few days ago. I messaged him. He just got back from America. He's had a good time in America. Well, he didn't have a good time in America, but he went to America. But yeah, he's back in the UK now, and he was up in Blackpool for a couple of days not long ago, and he wanted me to, but I was not in a good place. I was not in a good place. I was not nice. I was feeling quite vindictive and nasty, and I don't think I'd have been good company. I really don't. And I don't like doing that to my friends. I don't like being bad company. So I'd rather just lock myself in my little box and stay there. So anyway, on that note, cheered you up on it. On that note, this vlog is at an end. We've come to the end of a long vlog. So you all take care, and I will do another vlog. Hopefully, I'm going to try do one on the 1st of each month, which will be rather cool, won't it? Because then you'll have a full 4 weeks worth of stuff to catch up on. You all take care. Bye for now, and thanks again for watching. And please, if you recommend me to friends or whatever, subscribe, click like on my vlog just to say you've watched it. That would be a big help. Bye for now.